As we have seen from just a few items in today's show, news scandal season is upon us, which is terrible timing, as I've barely even gotten my Halloween decoration set up yet. These days, it seems that almost all our news comes packaged as a scandal, from politics to social issues and the endless he said, she said debate over wokeness and cancel culture. In fact, I will probably get in trouble just for using the term he said, she said, as it is gender insensitive, which, for the record, I am not. Some of my best friends are genders. So let's take a look at the anatomy of a scandal by picking just one from this week's news.
Comedian and actor Russell Brand faces allegations of rape, sexual assault and emotional abuse spanning 7 years at the peak of his fame. The claims against the former husband of US singer Katy Perry emerged from a joint investigation by Britain's The Times and the Sunday Times newspapers, as well as the Channel 4 TV documentary show Dispatches.
Well, the dominant scandal this week is, of course, the one thrown around comedian and latter-day conspiracy theorist Russell Brand, who, as we noted earlier in this program, sits accused of multiple sexual assaults. As is often the case with the celebrity scandals, Brand has already seen himself tried in the court of public opinion, resulting in the cancellation of his store and the freezing of all profits from his popular YouTube channels.
We have suspended monetization on Russell Brand's channel for violating our creator responsibility policy. If a creator's off-platform behavior harms our users, employees, or ecosystem, we take action to protect the community.
And all that with no formal investigation in place. To be clear, if Russell Brand is indeed found guilty of these accusations, then we at the European Edge will be the first to support kicking his ass into prison. What we question is the snowball effects of scandals in general, and how we often throw our deepest principle, like, say, the right to a trial and the presumption of innocence, under the bus when a juicy, scandalous story comes up. And the Brand story has it all. Katy Perry, sex scandal, it all works. All the elements needed to distract you from the other news that might also be important. And with scandals, we also can predict the course of how things will proceed, which is maybe why we like them so much. They're cozy, familiar, and weirdly comforting. Take, for example, another familiar element of any scandal, the public denial, a tried and true tactic that has been deployed by many. Starting from Bill Clinton to, was there ever any doubt this guy was pervy British presenter Jimmy Savile? And so, of course, we were not surprised to see Russell Brand say this.
These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual.
And so the heated, completely fact-free debate begins in the public sphere. Who's telling the truth? Will charges be brought against Brand? How can he know if the sex he was having then was consensual, when he was, according to himself, out in his head on drugs and alcohol? Was he ever actually funny? Which brings us to the next anatomical part of any scandal, where it becomes a vehicle for other messages. In this sense, a scandal is a bit like a protest march, where the organizers want to bring attention to a single issue, but then everyone shows up with their own agenda in mind. In the case of Russell Brand, well, they say you can judge someone by their friends, and sadly, 3 of Brand's most vocal supporters used the scandal to pile on their own agendas. First up was historically unreliable guest back Alex Jones, who had this to say.
No one ever accused him for the last 15 years of assault. They say he's a big sweetheart. And now, because he comes out against Big Pharma, he comes out against the globalists, he comes out against the New World Order, suddenly the allegations are happening to him.
Then, not wanting to miss the opportunity for free publicity of his own fringe ideas, bow-tie douchebag Tucker Carlson weighed in with his tweet, which blames drug companies and a Ukrainian government conspiracy for the Russell Brand scandal. And finally, scraping around the bottom of the barrel, we find Andrew Tate, the British-born kickboxer, who simply tweeted, "Welcome to the club, Russell," which is not exactly a badge of honor when the club you are talking about is Andrew Tate's. A club that currently includes Tate being under house arrest for charges of rape and human trafficking. And so, within less than a week, the Russell Brand scandal has ballooned to include conspiracy theories, celebrity opinions from every side, and rampant speculation online and in the press. And yet, we remain not one legal, factual, or practical step closer to the truth of what actually has happened. Why? Because the wheels of justice run much more slowly than runaway media madness, and we have all lost our ability to be patient and thorough. After all, it's much more fun to dive into a big, juicy scandal than wait for all the boring, thoughtful answers that come with an investigation. Our advice, do what we do here at the European Edge. Enjoy the scandal, dive on in, and splash around as much as you like, but don't mistake it for truth. For that, we'll all have to wait patiently.